Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys know, I have made a soul ties part 1 video. It was a series that I was doing, but basically like Christian must-have, soul ties, and a few other videos that I have done in the past. And I am a little bit off. My last video about this was in September, but I've had many of requests about doing a part 2, so here it is. Just for you guys to know, if you guys like my makeup, this is a Valentine's Day look. If you're interested in my face glam, their video for this will be linked down below because I know many of you guys are gonna have questions about it. So yeah, I previously, like right before this video, I actually recorded that one, so it's a fresh face. But yeah, besides that, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this video. So this video is on soul ties. So if you guys don't know what a soul tie is, it is basically this, a tie between two people. It could be a sexual soul tie, it could be friendship, it could be just based off of emotion, and or even just like hanging around a certain person for a long time. So in my case, and like I said, I'll link that video down below so you guys can get the full story. But basically, I had a sexual soul tie with a man that I was not necessarily dating. We were more like friends with benefits, you know what I mean? And we ended up establishing an unhealthy soul tie. And just to clarify on that, like, I definitely want you guys to watch the video before this because it might be a little confusing if you don't know the backstory, and this video will be entirely too long if I went and redid the video and told you the whole background. But like I said, I met some guy and we clicked off, and immediately we like grew really attached to each other. We spent a lot of time together, we talked on the phone a lot, and we had sex, you know, out of wedlock. So yeah, so this is the part 2, like I said, of the video. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. So in the previous video, I basically ended on how hard it is to actually remove a soul tie. These are the things that I did that helped me, that helped a lot of other women that I have actually talked to about this specific situation. The first thing that I had to do was I had to pray. Like, and when I mean pray, I mean like I was always constantly talking to God, like just like I'm talking to you guys. Like I would talk to God like this, you know, like I would have a real conversation with him and really just let him know my heart, even though he already knows. It's always good to like really put it out there so that he knows that, you know, that you want that communication with him. So like I said, I prayed a lot, and you know, I asked God to just remove this from me because it was such a disheartening thing, and it really like affected my life, like my everyday life, and I wanted it to be removed. I didn't want to always think about this person. I didn't want to always like, you know, be sad and depressed that, you know, he's not in my life, and like, you know, just all this craziness. So first thing was prayer, and then the second thing that I meditated. Now I went on YouTube and I found this woman, and unfortunately I went to go find it again and I can't find it, but I will find a substitute for that and link it down below. But it's really just a woman speaking. She speaks very softly, and she's helping you to understand and, you know, really just release the feelings and release the anxiety and release all the negativity from you. And she, like I said, she'll ask you to do certain things, like certain breathing techniques. She'll ask you to go into a quiet room, just certain things like that. And I had to meditate about 4 or 5 times. And I usually meditated for about like 30 minutes. So I feel like it's very reasonable to be able to do at least once, you know, once every day or whatever, how often you feel like you need it. Another thing that I did was I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter to him, like expressing like just anything that I ever wanted to tell him but didn't feel like I could tell him. I wrote him a letter, and then I basically threw the letter in the trash, just like resembling like the relationship was over. And not only that, but I surrounded myself with positive, loving people. So like I said before, like I didn't really have too many friends, but I have like a lot of family, and now, you know, I have some really close girlfriends that I can just, you know, talk to. So if you are going through something like this, it is always best to really just reach out to somebody and just talk to them, let them know how you're feeling. Try to go to someone that's not going to judge you, because a lot of people in this world, they're going to judge you and they're not going to understand. So if you have that 1 or 2 really close friends or families that will actually sit there and listen to you and not like judge you, I really suggest that you do that. Another thing is find a craft, find a hobby that you really enjoy, just to keep your mind off of it. Like, I know a lot of times, like, I would just sit at home and not really do much, and I would just constantly be thinking about him. And it's just like, when you surround yourself with, you know, people or, you know, things that you enjoy doing, you kind of tend to forget about the bad that's going on in your life. And so those are the things that really helped me. And I actually wrote down a list of a few other things that I wanted to talk about, just because, like, literally the video was so long ago. I just really wanted to touch bases because I did promise a part 2. And yeah, I definitely want to be a woman of my word. So like I said, I wrote down a few things. Let me see. Okay, so I have to finish, like I said, the part 1 was, you know, basically giving you the basis of what happened, and this is going to be like the second part of the story. So after I initially left this man, and like I said, I was still going through the healing process, but I had officially left. This is a story that really just will sit with me for the rest of my life, because I've never gone through anything like this. Basically, I was leaving my brother's house. I had all my stuff packed up, like, and ready to go. And it was like everything, like just everything in life was like literally fighting against me. Like, the car that I drove wouldn't start. Like, just, I felt so attacked that day. Like, I was just, like, I knew when I got up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna leave, like, I'm like, this is gonna be done, I'm gonna start over, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But I just felt like literally everything was against me. So, like, imagine this, I'm leaving my brother's house, like, all my stuff is packed and ready to go. I'm cranking the car, trying to get in the car, and it's not starting. Like, and I'm talking about, the car was just fine the other day, yesterday, like the day before. So it was like, I know my car is not messed up, you know, it's like, what's really going on? So I keep on trying, and this whole time I'm just sitting there like, God, like, really? Like, you told me to leave, like, I need some grace, I need some mercy, I need you to get me out of this situation. And as soon as I said those words out of my lips, I promise you, I cranked the car and the car started. That was blessing 1. Then so I normally, like, I would, like, because the car that I had, like, the only thing that I could listen to is the radio. It didn't have like a CD player or anything like that. So I had just turned the radio on just to, like, you know, get my thoughts onto something else. And it was literally like, it was all songs, like, to try to get me, at the time I felt like it was trying to get me to think about him, because it was stuff like sad love songs and specifically this, and this is like super crazy, but you guys all know that song by Fetty Wap, My Way. Now, I've listened to that song like plenty of times, and for whatever reason, like, God was really speaking through me, like, to me through music. And basically, if you know how to song, baby, won't you come my way? And then it goes like, it, just look up the lyrics, y'all, look up the lyrics, and I kid you not, like God was really highlighting what the song really meant. And it was like, it was crazy to me, because it was like, God, like, are you really speaking to me through this song? Like, what are you trying to say? And basically it was like, the devil was really trying to get me back. He was really trying to, like, make me go back into that lifestyle of always constantly partying, drinking, smoking, hanging out with the wrong people. And it was like, this song really highlighted that. And then it was like every song after that, it just, like, until I got home, they were all speaking to me. So, like, I'm not crazy, I promise you I'm not, but there's been other people that has also told me that God speaks to them, like, through music. So like I said, I kept the radio on, and it was like, as soon as I made up in my mind that I was no longer going to allow the devil to try to tempt me or to try to capture me and to have me, you know, going back to where I was, like, I immediately, like, I turned the radio down. And as soon as the radio was turned down, my radio started flickering. Now, I promise you guys, I'm not crazy. I know this is happening. Like, there wasn't no shortage in my radio or nothing. So there's nobody can change my mind on this, because I'm a living witness to what happened. And like, the radio light started flickering, and I literally just started to laugh, because it was like, I knew what was going on. I knew that it was like, I knew that I wasn't going crazy, you know what I mean? And like, so I just decided, like, okay, I'm gonna start playing my gospel music, because I need to get home. It's a 2-hour drive. Like, I just want to be filled. I just want to be happy. I want to enjoy this ride home, because, you know, I finally listened to God. And so I started playing, you know, music from my phone. And the only music that I have on my phone is like Christian, like gospel music. And so I started playing those songs, and even God was trying to speak to me through them, like telling me not to give up on my passions, which is YouTube, which is crazy because like I'm not super passionate about too many things in my life, and I don't consider myself really good at too many things in my life, but YouTube is one of my passions. Like I absolutely love making videos and creating videos, editing videos for you guys, and it just really like got me to thinking to just never give up, you know, like never give up, because God is always with me. And it was like every single song back to back was like literally just showing me like that God is with me and that he's never going to leave me nor forsake me. And it made me know that, you know, like sometimes you have to, like sometimes people need proof. And I can definitely say I'm one of those people. Like, you need to prove to me that you'll never leave me nor forsake me, which is like, why would you ever question God? You know, that's your father. Why would you ever question him, knowing all the stuff that he is doing in your life that you don't deserve? So it was like rude. It was, matter of fact, it was like basically disobedient of me to even question God and him actually being there for me, you know. But like I was so disobedient. I was like a rebel, and it was like I really just asked God, like, I need you to prove this to me, you know, prove that you're here, prove that you love me, you know what I mean? And it's just like I really asked, and he really showed me that he loved me. Like, he didn't have to, but it's just like his grace, and he's so merciful that he showed me his love for me, not just by dying on the cross for me, but just an everyday thing. Like, he got me out of this really bad situation. And then like, okay, so I had my GPS on, like getting me back home, and all of a sudden, like, I normally go a certain route, but like there was an exit that I wasn't sure on. So I had my GPS on, and it told me to take a different exit that I was used to. But I was like, oh, you know, my GPS knows, you know, like I'm not tripping. My GPS knows what it's talking about. So I take this alternate route, and it was so weird. It was probably one of the scariest roads I've ever been on. It was like one of those super narrow two-way roads, like going going opposite direction, and it was going up and down a mountain. So just imagine me being in this long truck, like a very manly, basically work truck, and I'm driving and I'm listening, you know, to my gospel music, and I'm praying, and I'm just talking to God and just enjoying myself. And all of a sudden, like, these three cars like come behind me, and they're literally like back to back. Like, I have no space for error driving. So it's like I have them on my back, and then I have people like flying past me, and it's just like I wasn't even afraid, just because like I knew that it was like God had my back, you know. At that time, like I just knew it. God had my back. I wasn't gonna get into no car accident. Like, I wasn't gonna be tempted by fear, you know what I mean? Like, at like the first sign, like I did kind of get afraid, just because I didn't know where I was. My phone was dying, and it was just that like I couldn't call nobody because there was no signal. Like, it was just a really tough spot. And so my phone ended up dying completely. I didn't have a charger in the car, so I was just like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna just sing my praises out loud. And like I started singing like my old school church praise songs, and then like as I prayed, these cars started to like back up away from my truck. And it was like it just showed me like, dang, there is like real power in the name of Jesus. There's real power in prayer, because it's like I said, this whole time they were like back to back on me, and it was just like so like tempting, you know what I mean? Because it was like we're going up this crazy road, everybody's driving fast, the speed limit is like 40, but they're like pushing me to go like 50, 60, and it's just like super uncomfortable for me to be driving. And it's getting dark, so it's like I'm on this mountain and I don't even know where I'm going, you know what I mean? Because my phone is dying, like I have no idea what's going on. So like I said, I keep singing my praise and worship, and I ask God, like, please God, just let these cars just either pass me or just get from behind me, because I'm tired of driving like this, you know what I mean? Like I'm seriously tired of driving like this. And it was just like, it was so annoying, because I felt like this road was like 45 minutes long, and like normally I would have been home by now. So it's just like, it was just one of those things where it's like really God took me on this journey to really teach me a lesson, and it was like to just really trust him. So to keep a long story short, I ended up getting home and just sitting there for a second. Like I just sat there in the car, just, you know, hoping for, you know, just some type of peace, and just, you know, I didn't want to go into my house and it be like, you know, my parents' house, because that's where I had left from, my brother's house to my parents' house, and my ex was still living there. So it was like I really just wanted peace. I didn't want to argue with nobody. I just wanted peace. And then, like, for whatever reason, something told me to turn my phone back on. So I turned my phone back on, and it's charged. Like, not fully charged, but it's charged. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, my phone just died. How do I have, you know, how do I have any type of charge on this phone? And so it didn't even bother me, because it's just like, dude, God is working. Like, point blank period, he's working. I'm not even gonna question him no more. Like, if I question him, I'm just gonna go down. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna show my disbelief, and I believe in him. So why would I, you know, even question it? I was like, all right, God, whatever it is you want me to do. And then, you know, just I had this little soft whisper, like, go on YouTube. So I go on YouTube, and it's like I typed in, I forgot what I typed in, but it was like an instrumental to like a popular song. And I'm like listening to this, like, why did I, you know, click on this instrumental? Like, what's going on? And I kid you not, like, I felt the Holy Spirit just cover my body, and it was like words just started pouring out of my mouth. Like, I can't explain it any more than that. It was like I was filled. I was at complete peace, and like all of a sudden I had this like extreme talent to rap. Now, if y'all don't know me, I am a lip singer, okay? I can lip sing the heck out of a song, but a rapper? Oh no, that's not me. Not saying that I'm against it, not saying that I won't ever pursue that, but for me, I don't consider myself to be a rapper. Like, I love music to death, but like I've never really had that flow. Like, now I can sing, you know, I can lip sing, I can do all that, but to actually sit there and like rap, like freestyle rap, nah, I've never been able to do that. So I'm sitting there, this instrumental is playing, and I'm like literally rapping to this song, and I'm just like, I'm in awe at myself, because I'm like, God, is you really doing this? Like, you did this for me? And at the end of it, it was really just to show, like, God can do anything, like literally anything. He could speak to me through music. He can give me gifts, you know what I mean? Like, I already have gifts inside me that he has imparted in me, but he can also bring forth things that I've never even witnessed in myself, like being able to rap. So it was just like super astonishing to me that it was like, wow, like, I see you, God, like, I trust you. Okay, whatever it is, whatever your will is, will be done. So that awesome moment happened, and it ended. I was so sad that it ended, because that was really just a time for me and God and nobody else, you know. Like, I was able to share that very, you know, very sensitive moment with God, and I just felt so thankful, so grateful. And so I ended up going back to my house and like seeing my ex and my family, my daughter. Like, it was all good, you know, like everything was good. And then things started to like really change, because like the day that I got there, my ex basically was like, you know, I want to start over. And now in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I just stopped this relationship with this dude. I really don't want to be with nobody. But to be honest, like, it was more of the fact that he was there and he was going to be in my life regardless, because we have a daughter, that I kind of gave into it. It wasn't that I wanted to be in a relationship with him, and it wasn't that like I felt the need to. It was just that like he was there, you know, it was convenient, he was there. And I'm just being honest, and that is very rude of me, that's very disrespectful of me, because I should have just been honest. But it's like, ultimately I did want my family to stay together, but I didn't want it to stay together the way it was. Like, I wanted it to be like a complete 360. I wanted myself to change, and I wanted him to change. And I couldn't do that for him. You know, I was already changing, and from the looks of it, you know, he seemed to have been changing, but there was still a part of me that was just like, no, like, God wants me to himself right now. Like, I need to be alone. But of course, like, time went by, and I ended up accepting him back into my life. And literally, that's when my life kind of just started to go down again. And now I'm not knocking my ex, you know, because he's overall a good man. It's just that we're not compatible for each other, and I know that now. We're not compatible, and he's not my husband. Like, I know who my husband is, and it is not him. And it's just that, like, I really wanted to, just for the sake of my daughter and just having a family, I just allowed it to happen. And literally my life took like a whole turn. Like, I got broke, like I didn't have no money. We ended up moving down to Delaware, still broke, like still struggling. Just our relationship went like really, really bad. We was arguing, we was kicking each other out, we was putting our hands on each other, we was just like, we was getting each other's face. It was just really, really, really negative, really, really bad. And it was like, it turned so ugly so quick. And it's like, I didn't want that for myself. I didn't want my daughter to be around that. Like, and I felt stuck, you know? I felt like, dang, God just really took me out of this situation. And I went from one situation to another situation. Instead of just trusting God and being patient and just allowing him to work in my life. And so the point of this whole story is a soul tie can really, really just take away from your life. It can leave your mind vulnerable, it can leave your body vulnerable, and it can lead you into another situation that you just don't want to be in. And I'm not gonna say that I completely blame it on him, because it was my weakness, and you know, it was my, you know, just not having enough wisdom to really just see what God was really doing at that time. And it was really just that God wanted me alone. He wanted me alone so that he can work on me. He wanted to prepare me for my husband. And it's kind of hard when you're with someone and you end up having a child with them. It's hard for you to leave, because it's like you have a child with that person. You know, you invested time, now you have children, and it's like you don't want to separate from that person, but sometimes that's what's best. And so after, you know, completely relieving this soul tie, it was like I was still, you know, like when I got back with my ex, there was like times where I would still think about him and still like feel some type of way. And it's just like, so I knew that it wasn't completely gone, and it was just like, no, I have to stop everything right now. Like, so I got on my knees and I just asked God, like, please remove me from all of this. Remove me from my ex, remove me from the dude that I slept with, just like remove me from all of these things. And it's like, it really just took some time. It took some patience. It took some love. It took, you know, me to seek God, for me to really be able to just completely be done with both of these situations. Like, I really just want to encourage you guys, like, regardless of what your situation looks like right now, just know that God is with you, and that you can trust him, and that if you talk to God, if you pray to God and just ask him to remove people who are not from, you know, not for you, he will remove them. It may be, you know, the person that you thought was your best friend. It may be your, you know, your significant other. It may be, you know, like, there's a lot of things that go into play with this, but just know that it can be done. Like, just think of it now, like 6 months later, I'm completely happy. Like, me and my daughter are great. I have a great job. I have a great significant other. Like, my life has really changed for the better, and I'm like just so happy about it. Like, I'm extremely happy that God has really just changed my life for the better. Like, and it's just such a blessing, because like a year and a half, even 2 years ago, like I never would have thought that this moment would come, but it's here. And I just want to rejoice and definitely share my story with you guys, because like I said, I know I'm not the only person going through this. Like, I can't be. I have women all the time either sending me emails or even commenting on like old videos that they want to see, like they need help, you know? And so like, I'm glad that God used me for this. I'm glad that God allowed me to go through this situation so that I can help, you know, men and women, you know? And it's just like, whoever, if you're watching this video, I really just want to thank you for watching. I know that these videos aren't really short, but I believe that when you are going through something and you really want help, you will seek, you know, like you will do your research, you will pray, you will get on your knees if you have to, like you will find your answer, you know what I mean? So yeah, if you guys have any more questions about this, I know because it was a little bit sporadic, but if you guys have any questions, or you know, want to put your input or whatever the case may be, like don't hesitate to email me, don't hesitate to leave down the comments. I would make a suggestion though, because this is such like a private, you know, thing, and you don't want people to know your business, I would highly suggest to email me instead of leaving a comment down below, because you just don't want people in your business like that. And a lot of people will try to put like negative comments under people's comments, and I don't like that. Matter of fact, I will, if it's a negative comment, I will delete it. I don't want none of that. I don't need anybody defending me but God. And so I feel like it's better that you email me so that I can have a direct line to you and you have a direct line to me. And I can promise you that I'm not going to share your story, you know, unless it's like a situation where you want me to share it, you know, to help somebody else, or you know, like we have a conversation like that, you know, maybe we start a prayer group or with you and we have like more than one person praying for you, you know what I mean, like then that would be completely up to you. But as for me, like your secret is literally safe with me. Of course me and God, because God has to know, you know, he already knows. So yeah, like don't hesitate to do that. Definitely share this video and go watch the very first video, because it will clarify a lot of questions that you may have. Because like I said, I made a whole like 25-minute video on this specific topic, and yeah, I want to be able to answer any questions that you have. So yeah, without making this video like heck long, I'm going to end here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did get something out of this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But without further ado, I will see you guys later. Bye. Lonely with me, go make that money, money, money.